Hey, good evening. Welcome to A Foreigner in the Philippines. I often comment on some of the emails that I get for various reasons. One of the reasons that I'm talking about this particular email that I got is because it has become quite a hot subject among YouTubers. So those people, YouTubers, those with a YouTube channel. So as soon as you get a YouTube channel and it starts to have any kind of success at all, what will happen is you'll get lots of emails from people offering you a partnership. And I have received many of these letters, these emails, and they all amount to about the same tack, the same way of presenting their case. Now, these partnerships are offered by a company, and the company, when they get in touch with you, are very persuasive. And as one of the other YouTubers that I went to have a look and see what the score was, as he said, they can be relentless. In fact, one lady that is a YouTuber said that she gets one every day. She gets an offer every day to have a partnership. So there are literally hundreds of these companies that are offering partnerships. And what they do is they will tell you that they have in their fold, they have lots of creators, as they call us, that they have lots of talented creators and that they represent lots of companies. Now, I wondered about this. In the past, I've responded, so this is how I've responded. Now, let me tell you what the letter will always say, no matter what the company is, and there, as I said, there are so many. What the company will say is, hi Terence, and I'm not reading this, doing this from memory. Hi Terence, been looking, we represent partnerships in offering a great service for enhancing your company, your YouTube. We can improve a lot of things about what you do. Now, they'll say what really stood out is the content of your videos, and it really stood out, and I think that you would be a great addition to our a group of creators that we represent. So why don't you get in touch with me so that we can talk more about how we can help you. So okay, I accept that for the moment. Think about it and think, wow, wouldn't it be great to have a team of pros, designers, content, marketing experts, all of these people who are going to increase the reach, the exposure, and the success, and ultimately the success of my channel. So wouldn't it be great to have these people working for me? And of course, I'm a reasonable person. I think, well, yes, that they're going to expect to be paid for it. So here I am, or should I say, here we are. Beth and I are now at that point where we are fast approaching 158,000 subscribers, which we've done by blundering around on our own, doing what we think is the right thing to do. So we're doing okay. Now, seems to me that you need to ask a few questions. So if you've had one of these letters telling you how great it would be and how great you would be if you were to join them, I asked some very simple questions. I said, thanks for getting in touch, and yes, it may well be that we could work together to great advantage to both of us. But first, a couple of questions. Now, and I quote them, Now, you say that our videos really reached out to you and touched you. So, may I ask which videos reached out to you and why? Look forward to hearing from you. Now, in another letter that I had, I answered it this way. I said, I know that you take possibly 20 or 30% of our income. Now, is this the income that we have created by working 24/7 for 2 years? You're going to take 30% of that, or will it be 30% of what you bring in excess of what we're earning now? Perhaps you could answer that question, because actually we have, and I mention whatever the number of subscribers are at that time. I say we've got X number of subscribers, which we've done by, as I say, just fumbling along on our own. So how are you going to approach this? And what was your favorite video? And what did you like about it? Because we have a channel with greatly varied content. So in other words, which particular video or videos did you really love, as you said? And let me know, and let me know what it was that you liked about those. Now, the only time I've heard back was just once, and I had pointed out that, you know, humbly speaking, we seem to be doing okay on our own. So why would we join a partnership giving away part of our income? And I've forgotten which company it was now, and I wouldn't tell you anyway. What's the point in me slagging off some company who may be great for someone else? I only know one person who has had one of these partnerships, and he, when we were still talking, said that it wasn't a great thing at all, and it was not something he would be renewing. So I asked, how can you help us? Now, as I say, I got one reply back from these letters, which I send them out tongue-in-cheek, actually. I'm not really expecting them to go into any, well, I loved the so-and-so video, and I loved it because. No, I'm not really expecting any responses like that. The only response I got back was, yeah, actually, you do seem to be doing okay on your own. So he had actually admitted it and left it at that. I'm sure that he got hauled over the coals for that if his supervisor saw that response. What the hell are you doing, telling him the truth? So I decided after this particular letter, which I got yesterday, I think it was. Now, I decided that I would go onto YouTube and type in the name of that partnership company, and all I was expecting to do was to just find out what they were saying about themselves and what they did, and you know, it was an honest attempt to find out what they were saying about themselves, how they promoted themselves, how it looked, and whether it would be worth me doing anything. I got quite a bit of a surprise, because this turned out to be a famous or an infamous name, where people were saying it was the worst thing that they'd ever done, was to have a partnership for a year, and they served their time and certainly would never do it again. Another one was an expat who was a pretty lady who had about 60, I think she had 60 or 70 subs. She said that the main thing that she noticed was, and she went into describing what the percentages were, okay, but the basic bottom line that she did make. The point that she made was that at the end of the contract, which she did not renew, her income immediately went up by 50%. So in other words, if you're there and you're online and you're doing, let's say that you're doing quite well and you have become monetized, and for my easy math, let's just say that you're earning $100. And so you're earning $100. Now that's what's coming in. YouTube take, I believe, 45% of that, but don't quote me on that. It could be 40%, but let's say that it's 45%. So you get $55 from the $100 that you pull in. Right. Now, when this partnership starts, they take a percentage. Let's say that they only take 30%. It's 30% of the $55. So it's not 30% of the whole thing, because they are a third party. They're not in the club between you and YouTube. They are a third party, and they're coming in offering a service which they may or may not provide. But you will be held by a legal contract for the period that you signed for. So irrespective of how badly they perform, there is no clause, as far as I know, that says if they're not performing, you can out. No. If they're not performing, you're in. As my friend Gina used to say, you're in the boat. So it's not going to happen that you can get out. Now, back to the percentage. They're going to take 30% of what YouTube allow you to keep, which is, as we've just said, if the percentages that I've quoted are right, they're going to take 30% of your $55. So YouTube take the lion's share in that particular case, and then this company, who are going to do wonders for you, take 30%, say. Now, here's where the rub comes in. They always take 30%. Good, bad, indifferent. Perform, not perform. Not be there badly, whatever. They take their money, and you have no recourse to cancel the contract, as far as I know. And it is, as one other YouTuber said and warned you, it is a legal binding contract, and whether you like it or not, you are in the boat. So I decided, definitely, after seeing lots of different rueful YouTubers saying, oh boy, I wish I hadn't done that. So enough of that, and heard some quite coherent, intelligent people saying why they would not do it again. Suffice to say, we will not be doing it, regardless of what our friend now tells me was his most joyful video that we did. Glad you liked it. Goodbye. Thanks for looking in, and bye for now.